What are stateful sets? Stateful sets are construct in Kubernetes which allows group of application to interact with each other while keeping a unique network identifier. Specifically designed for applications that require unique stable network identifier, persistent storage, and ordered deployment termination. Example, database or distributed system. Take an example of this one. If I'm running a MySQL, say primary and secondary replication, and in that case, if something happens to this pod, and if I want to restart the pod or want to deploy somewhere else, I want to make sure the order of deployment or the way it is starting, it is consistent. So in case of any SQL database, it is recommended that you start from the primary. Once the primary comes up and then the secondary comes, start replicating. Because if you break that chain, and if by mistake somewhere else is written, data could be corrupted. And by the way, in most cases, whenever you set a read replica, the database which is replicating, it is read only. You cannot even write on it. So your application will not work. So that is a very critical aspect of these type of application, and where stateful sets make sense. Each pod in the stateful set gets a unique stable network identifier like pod 012, and which is essential for application to rely a stable connection. Example, if you are a front end application, you are connecting back end as a MySQL 0, and no matter how many times the MySQL will restart, your network identifier will remain the same. Third, persistent storage. Each stateful set ensure the pod has unique persistent storage volume or PVC and not share with each other, even if the pod is restarted and rescheduled. Very important for a database application. Order deployment, as already explained, it is a strict order you can have which allows to have a predictable behavior. And of course, it also supports rolling update. Now let's get back to hands-on lab. This is an example of a stateful set deployment file. You can see in the file, we have the kind as a stateful sets. Metadata name of the set is a web, and specification is web with 3 replica. And the selector here is also the web. It means it will try to replicate the app which is named as web. By the way, these names you can change as per your requirement. And I'm using a template of the app. In this case, the name is web again, but the container will be Nginx. Reason for taking Nginx is very easy and lightweight and very easy to do. For a real world application, this could be much more complicated. And most modern applications are deployed using Helm chart deployment. But to go to that level, first you need to understand these basic element of it. And then I'm giving a volume claim template, naming it as a web storage and giving a 1 gig of storage. And now let's go ahead and deploy it. Apply is applied, and I can check my, see, I can see my both pods are coming up. And I can actually do check what is the name, is my set has been deployed properly or not. You can see web, all threes are up, and you can always be a little bit creative and always do a describe. This helps you to get a better understanding of what it is being done. You can see every step is actually logged, and these information you can see, and this is very important when actually you are doing any troubleshooting. That can be a big plus if you know how to do that. Let me check the PVC. So you can see my persistent volume claim, I have 3. All state are bound. Bound is a, it tells that the volume is already attached to a container, and it talks about the storage and storage class. So now if you want to, again, this is a simple app. If you want to access this app, and of course you have to create a some kind of a load balancer. But let's do one more round. Take this set and just scale it. So my existing replica set is 3. Now replica set, I'm setting it to 5. The moment I do that, you can see the number of pod will increase from 3 to 5. And these kind of features are very essential for any application you are looking for to increase the volume or capacity. If I do my PVC, what I'll see two more volumes are created. You can see now I have total 5 volumes. So that is what the property of a stateful set, which ensures that whenever you are modifying, altering properties of these sets, everything respective things, for example, number of pods and persistent volume, everything increases. And one more thing you will see, each of them has a unique identifier. Now let's do some rolling update. This case, I want to do a rolling update. I want to update this pod, this container nginx latest to say nginx 1.21. The moment I do, the stateful set will automatically do the deployment, do the rolling update, and then I can check the status as well. And it says 5 new pod has been updated. Just to be sure that my pod are correctly updated, I can do a describe on these. Describe pod, and you can see here, first it was nginx container, then successfully pulled a new image. So the rolling update did work. So we can be sure. And that was the example of a stateful set.